Hey guys, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. In this video, we're going to cover how to improvise on standard progressions, and this ties a knot for the seventh stage, because I published these other videos about how to learn standards, right? And the point here is we have a replicable process for learning standards, meaning do this, do that, do that, do that. And the seventh stage is, I would say, an optional one. It's the one in which you can really start to build ammo to improvise. Recall that the fourth stage, what I told you as well, set up a target note, right? And then fall into that note from above from three approach notes. That's the most bang for your buck. We're going to reuse that here, but we're going to add meat around the bone to get your mind going in that direction. What do I mean by building ammo and meat around the bone? I mean that from here, we can, in a way to study that, ignore the melody. You don't ignore the melody of a song altogether, but regardless, here we're going to look at the chord progression and go, okay, how do we make sense of this so that we have more things to say and develop more fluidity so that when we have lines we hear, they're on the fretboard. So here's a replicable process. Mine has 5 steps, so that's stage 7, 5 steps. I know it's a lot of steps and stages, but take note. It could be 4 steps for you, it could be 6, it doesn't really matter. The point is to carry something forward with discipline that is replicable, that you can reproduce over several chord progressions and play the same things over and over and over again until they become automatic for you so that you can go in that realm of flow and self-expression. All right, that's a biggie in the way I teach my guys now in the accelerator for the past 3 years now. It's been fantastic, the kind of results we've been having. Check this out in the description below, or type in jazzguitarlessons.net/reviews. Some people barely played jazz chords, and a few months later they're playing gigs, standards, accompanying singers. It's fantastic. And some people had never soloed, and now solo on jazz guitar tunes like Summertime and Autumn Leaves and Stella by Starlight. It's fantastic. So without further ado, the 5 steps I like to use for myself and with my students is at first looking at the chord progressions, say Autumn Leaves. What I will do is play the guide tones. So around the middle of my fretboard, I will look at this and go, all right, that's mine again. Right, so I'm gonna go here and go, that's the A minor 7. So I have the D, the G, and the C natural. And then this is my D7, and this is my G. This is my F sharp minor 7 flat 5. This is my B7. This is my E minor. So it's pretty easy, although there's some legwork you have to put into that to make sure that you have the right notes in the right spot and that you can follow it along to the conveyor belt of the song. So you put your eye reel on and you make sure you can do that. That's my first step of my improv workout. This will be great to fall back on your feet like a cat if something goes wrong in your improv. Okay, seventh stage, second step. So it's your improv workout. What I do as a second step is I ensure that I have a scale I can perform for each of the chord symbol. Namely, if it's an A minor 7, I'm going to say, well, this is A Dorian. What does that mean? Whatever, it's a minor scale, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the fingering. It only matters that you can cover the amount of bars with the proper scale tones. And the best way to do that for now is to play 8 notes, starting on the root, ending on the 7th. Barry Harris approach. You guys familiar with the dude? Just passed away. Amazing work as far as pedagogy goes for jazz. So if the chord lasts 1 bar, you go up to the 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an A. Right? And if the chord would have lasted 2 bars, I would go. Avoid going to the other tonic. Just go up to the 7th and back down, or just up to the 7th. I'll give you an example of A minor 7, D7, G major on Autumn Leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this mean I have to switch bar, a chord every bar? Yes, you have to switch scale every bar. That's the process of this. This is amongst the things you're gaining from it. People will be smart and go, well, Mark, you're just playing G major, you're just starting on a different note. Yes, you're right. However, I'm not thinking of G major. I know G major is the parent scale, but I'm training my mind to switch scales fast like this. Because at some point in the future, the first chord of your tune and the second chord might not have the same parent scale, but your task switching ability skill will be there with you. right? So it's important to run that. So do your guide tones in time, do your scales in time. The third step I like to do is really to just play the arpeggio. So what I will do is start from these 8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just go 1, 3, So I will simply extract the 8 notes that are on the ends, and I will simply play a 7th note arpeggio. Pretty simple. Okay, now we have 3 steps. The fourth step is to do what we talked about in the fourth stage, or a variation thereof. If you want to start approaching the third of the chord instead of going 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, right? Instead of doing that, if you'd rather do, I don't know, a chromatic approach, right? I don't know, I'm just spitballing, but the point is, pick an approach and make sure you can replicate that thing over every chord, the same approach. And you can take this in a sense as being building your own licks, okay? That's it. So after you've done these 4 things, in my case it's 4, you can do more. In the 5th step, I just go improvise. Solo, don't think of anything, just see what comes out. Okay, that's the approach. Guide tones, scales, arpeggios, approaches, so making sure you can resolve into thirds and build your own sorts of licks, and then improvise like a maniac. Don't try to control the flow of that. It's just going to come out from the training and the drilling you do. Do that every day for a week. Film yourself on day 1, film yourself on day 7, and you'll be amazed, okay? The last thing I will tell you about this improv workout to encapsulate this whole training on how to approach jazz standards is any of the stages can be modular to your own needs. I think I mentioned this in stage 5 or 6, which means, well, you can also be more of a chord melody player and spend more time in stage 3. Or if you want to do more soloing, you can spend more time in stage 4 or stage 7, right? It doesn't matter. The point is to go back to standards, keep playing them. Same thing with stage 7, is to keep looking at the same song and utilizing different angles. You might tell me, hey Mark, I'm bored with the scales. What should I do? Have you considered playing your scales backwards from top to bottom? Okay. Did you start your scales on third? Did you decide to do a descending arpeggio instead? Have you considered making your own improv workout with 6 steps instead of 5? In which step 5B is this thing where you descend an arpeggio from the 5th. I don't know, I'm just making it up. But you can always find a state of flow by going, I'm going to modify all of this so that I incorporate more language, so that when people call tritone subs, I have this sort of language under my fingers. There's always some place to go. Any player, Pat Metheny, myself, you, can find a point where you're not falling asleep because it's too boring and easy, and you're not so challenged that you're overwhelmed. You find a place where it's challenging just enough to keep your interest. And then you're going to look at the clock and go, time flies by so fast, I haven't seen time go. That's where you want to be headed. On that note, I will let you go. Thanks for watching this entire series, guys. My name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Like and subscribe for more videos on these the topic of learning standards, chords, voice leading, licks, standards, historical, like a biography of stuff of Wes and transcriptions. And I will see you soon on the website, jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.